Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa la fahma lana illa ma fahamtana innaka antal jawadul karim. We're going to talk about the 5 stages of Islamic group. The Islamic group is the group that works for hidayah, for guidance, for bringing people to Islam, spreading Islam. As Allah Ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who struggle for us, make effort for us, we shall guide them our ways. So any group that is making the struggle for Islam, would it be struggle of da'wah, or struggle of helping poor people, or making mosques, or spreading knowledge, or as we are doing ruqya, any kind of effort that is for the benefit of Islam. So this group will pass through 5 stages. The first stage is mahabba, means the unity of the hearts. If the hearts are not together, that is not a group. That is people that are together, but the hearts are separate, so that does not make a group. This is the first stage of the group. So if the hearts are not together, the group is going to fight and come back until they learn how to behave together. It's not easy for everyone who is living on his own way to come into a group and to become a member of a group, so it needs learning and adapting. And there are many rules in Islam. There are many rules in Islam to make people live together and love each other and have brotherhood. But I will only tell you 2 of them. First one, Allah Ta'ala says, وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي يَقُولُ الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ يَنْزَغُ بَيْنَهُمْ. Say to my slaves to say the best thing, because shaitan tries to make problems between them. So, of course, shaitan does not like Islam, does not like people to worship Allah Ta'ala, but what he hates more is people making effort for Islam, because that is breaking all his work. If you just worship Allah yourself, you have run away from shaitan. But if you are helping people to come back to Allah, so you're destroying all his efforts. So they hate that even more. And the best thing to break the Islamic world is to divide the people making Islamic world, so that they don't like each other, so they cannot work with each other. So the whole Islamic world is finished. And shaitan tries to make that effort, as Allah Ta'ala tells us. And how can we stop him making that effort? Is by always saying the best words. So if someone makes a mistake, in any situation, say the best thing. Avoid joking, saying, you are always like this, you are like that. Because the person can be offended, and then he does not tell you, but then he does not like you, and then after you cannot work together, and it comes more and more problems. So that is the way shaitan comes into the group, through words. Saying words that you think are nothing, are not harmless, harmful, are not important, but they will affect the other people's heart. So we must all try to stick on this order of Allah Ta'ala. Tell my slaves to say the best thing. And Rasulullah says the same thing. مَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. Whoever believes in Allah and Day of Judgment should say good or shut up. And this is a general rule for Muslims' life. And I do advise myself and all my brothers and sisters to do your best to apply this rule. Because Rasulullah said it in such a way, it is very compulsory. He says, whoever believes in Allah and Day of Judgment should say good or shut up. So don't take it just as a nafila, as a plus, that if you do it, it's good. If you don't do it, fine, you can be a good Muslim and speaking uselessly. No. As Rasulullah said, you can't. If you believe in Allah and Day of Judgment, you should say good or shut up. Don't speak uselessly. Of course, don't say bad things, but even useless things, you must avoid them. And when you do that, it is so much beneficial for your iman. It is so much beneficial for your iman, and for your behavior, and for your mind, that it makes you very clear in your head, in your words, and very serious. And when you stick onto that, that makes that at any time when you say something, everybody believes you and everybody takes you seriously, because you are always used to only say true things and right things. And that is a very big education for you. And I want to tell you that this quality does not come by age. Don't think that I am young, or by the time, by the years, by the effort it will come. You get old people, you get responsible people in Islamic work that do not apply this hadith. All their life they didn't apply it. So don't hope that time will arrange that. And the second point I'm going to mention to keep the hearts in the Islamic group is to consider highly each person of this group. You see, most of humanity are not Muslim. Many of Muslims are making shirk. Many of Muslims are not worshipping Allah properly. They run after dunya and they just worship Allah to respect the orders of Allah Ta'ala. And then a few of Muslims do their best to get closer and closer to Allah, to increase in degrees of iman and knowledge and practice, and to imitate Sahaba, to imitate Prophet ﷺ. And then even fewer Muslims have the worry of deen, of how to help others, to bring others to deen, how to give my life, how Allah will use me for the sake of deen. So these are so rare. So you must understand that each one of these people that have come to do some work for Islam, they are too much valuable. They are too much valuable. So even if they have defaults, even if they have lacks, that is what we have. If we should wait for perfect people to do the work of Islam, so there will never be any work of Islam. We are all not perfect. So people come with their lacks, and they are here to help Islam. So you must accept them as they are, and know that even if you can see qualities in some people that are not doing the work of Islam, but the quality this man has is that he has in his heart the worry about Islam and about Muslims. And that was one of the biggest qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to have the worry of the ummah. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have only sent you as a mercy for all beings. And that was the permanent worry and thinking and effort of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And especially in the Ruqya group, when someone does the Ruqya, jinns and sorcerers will attack him, and if Allah does not help him, he will not stand there. So if someone comes in the Ruqya with a false intention like money, or he's doing bad things in the Ruqya, like having like touching women or trying to abuse of women, so the jinns are going to destroy him, because shayateen and sahar attack us and Allah will not help him because his intention is not good, so he's going to get destroyed. So if someone is making ruqya and staying in the ruqya, so you can understand that Allah is helping him. So even if he's not perfect, and no one's perfect, but alhamdulillah, if he had really something bad, he cannot stay in this world. So that is the first level, the first stage of the group, that is mahabba. And the second stage of the group is effort, juhd, effort. Many groups, they have mahabba, mashallah, very nice brotherhood, very much ikram, but then they spend their time taking tea, sleeping, everything slowly, everything with a rest, as if you are in elderly house or in holidays, making everything slow and nice, must not get tired, must not have problem, everything fine. So what is the criteria to know that you are making effort? You know that you are making effort when you are working until when you go to the limit of sleeping and eating. That means you work and you are tired, you want to sleep, but you cannot go to sleep because there still is some work to do. And you do the effort until you are hungry and you want to eat and the food is there, but you cannot because there still is some work to do. So that is when we're going to start to take benefit from this effort. I give you an example. It's like when you do sport and you get tired. So when you get tired, you stop. So you're getting no benefit. It is when you are tired that you are starting to benefit. And you must go beyond your tiredness and force yourself to go more and more. And that's how you're going to acquire new capacities in sport, by going beyond your limits. So now how to do that? We must fill up our time with useful activities that are beneficial for us and for people, until doing those activities will drag us with pleasure, not as a constraint, not as a burden, as something difficult and undesirable. No, you will like it because you are taking profit and you're being useful to people, so you want to go more and more and more and not think about eating and sleeping. This is how it has to be. So now, how to fill up our day, our time with activities, it depends. It depends on the nature of the effort we are doing and the organization you are in. But to say it, just to give a general idea, we can divide these activities according to who it addresses to. So first one is on the people. So if you are working on the people, like here, making ruqya on patients, or giving dawah to people, or teaching people, or helping people, whatever the activity is, so that is the priority. You must take care of these people. After that, we must take care of our group. That means if there is someone who knows more than you, better skills than you, stick onto him and ask him whatever you need, if you have finished with the public. And if there is someone that is less than you, go to him and teach him whatever you know. And the third activity is oneself. So once we have finished with the people and between us, and you have time, so learn yourself, or take the time to worship Allah Ta'ala yourself. And the fourth object is the environment. So you have to clean, keep tidy, whatever is needed to do in the environment we are in. And we have 5 points in juhd, in effort, 5 points of Sahaba radiallahu anhum that we go with in this work. The first principle, it is 5 principles. The first principle is principle of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. كان إذا مشى أسرع وإذا تكلم أسمع وإذا ضرب أوجع. When he walks, he goes fast. When he speaks, he is heard. And when he hits, he hurts. That was quality of Umar radiallahu anhu. When he goes fast. When he walks, he goes fast. When he speaks, you hear him. When he hits, it hurts. And that means that we want to do any job we have to do. If we tell you to do hijama, or to explain treatment, or to go buy something, whatever thing you have to do, you're going to do it well, perfectly, so that no one has to come behind you, explain again, do it again, say this is not like this, you have not done it correctly, and as fast as possible. Okay? If we just tell you to go buy some bread, you'll go like an arrow and come back like an arrow. Not just walking about, as if you have nothing to do. So this is the first point in Juhd. Second point is point of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. لا يحير عند البديهة. He's not يحير. He's not lost in front of something obvious. So when something is obvious, we do it right away. Don't stay thinking more and more. For example, I have to take my wuzu. Say, I have to go all the way there. I have to take my socks off, water is cold, as I have to take my wudu, and there is no alternative. So just go do it and come back immediately. No use thinking, because there's nothing to think about. You see? So when something is clear, go ahead and do it. Don't stay turning around, turning around, turning around. This is quality of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And third point, principle, is the point of Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu. كان إذا قاتل لا يستريح ولا يريح جنده ولا يريح عدوه. When he was at fight, he will not rest. He will not let his enemies rest. He will not let his army rest, and he will not let his enemy rest. So when it is fighting, it is total fight until it's all finished. Yeah. So when we have work to do, we have people to treat, we have things to do, so everybody works. If you finish what you have done, look at the other ones, who can you help out for his problem, for his work, until we have all finished. Don't just sit there, say, I've finished, no one's telling me to do something, so I'm here. Or you go in the corner, start reading your Quran, whereas everybody has not finished his work. Okay? And the fourth principle is the jumper of war. That is Al-Bara ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, in the battle of Yamama against Musaylama al-Kadhdhab. So this was a very terrible battle where Muslims were 12,000 and Kafir were 100,000. But that was not the problem. The problem was that the Musaylama people believed their chief was a prophet and they were ready to die for him. And Sahaba, of course, are ready to die. So that was making that battle very tough. And at what time in the battle, the Muslims pushed the Kafir back to their fortress. And in front of the walls, the Muslims did not have any technique to break the door or to jump the wall or anything. So they were there, not having a means to go forward. And Al-Bara ibn Malik radiallahu anhu stood on a, how do you say, on a shield. He stood on a shield and he said, lift me with your bows. So they lifted the shield, then they lifted the shield with bows, and he hanged on the wall and jumped over the wall alone in the middle of the kuffar. And there he fought until he opened the door. And when he opened the door, the Muslims rushed in and he fell down. He had more than 80 hurts of arrow, of sword, of spear. Yeah, spears. They lifted him with the spears. He had more than 80 hits and he fell down unconscious. And the Muslims went in and fought. And the battle will not end until they understood that the only way to end the battle was to kill Musaylama. And 3 people went to kill him, and Wahshi killed him with the same spear with which he killed Hamza radiallahu anhu. Okay. And Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, the chief of the army, stayed 1 month to wait that Al-Bara ibn Malik will be healed from his wounds. So that is the wall jumper, Al-Bara ibn Malik. And we have this principle in Ruqya. What people say, no, that sorcerer is very dangerous, this thing cannot be done, those jinns are too dangerous, and this is going to happen, that is going to happen, we just run into it. Totally. No fear of the shayateen or sorcerers. As Allah Ta'ala says, أَتَخْشَوْنَهُمْ فَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَن تَخْشَوْهُ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do you fear them? You fear those people that work for shaitan. That is what you are fearing. You who worship Allah, fear the people who worship shaitan? Is the power shaitan is going to give them bigger than the power Allah is going to give you? That is what you think. That Allah will not help you. In front of those people, that shaitan will help them. Because shaitan's condition is easy. When someone makes kufr, shaitan will help him. But Allah Ta'ala needs taqwa. To get the help of Allah needs taqwa. So, may Allah help us. We don't fear, inshallah, those people And whatever people say, this is dangerous, this is this, this is that, we go straight into it. And the fifth point of juhd is the pusher of wall. Now this is a new concept. In Tabligh context, one responsible of an Arab country went to Pakistan and asked the Mashayikh, the Buzurgu, why is the Tabligh running well and well organized in your country, but in our country it is weak and having lots of problems? So the Shaykh looked at him and told him, push the wall. He said, Shaykh, how can I push the wall? And the Shaykh, there was one Pakistani going by, he called him, you come here, push the wall. So he went and pushed the wall with all his strength. And the Shaykh said, you see, here people respect Mashayikh and they do what we say. But you only do what you have in your mind. That is the problem. Okay? So we need the wall pushers. We tell you to do that. I do that. How can I do that? Should I do that? Just do it. There is one time for shura and discussing, and there was one time for executing. So we said, do. And this is how we all have to be. Like said Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, if I spend one night with a group of muhajirin, very black, very dark night, waiting for Fajr, very dark night, under heavy rain, waiting for Fajr to attack our enemies, I love that night more than a night I spent with a new wife, a new virgin wife, after which I am announced that I have a boy. I prefer that night in the group of muhajirin, a dark night, under the rain, waiting for Fajr to attack our enemies, better than a night with a new virgin wife, after which I get a boy. MashaAllah. But why is it a group of muhajirin? Because the muhajirin, after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, only wanted to join him. There is nothing interesting them in dunya after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in every battle they are forward, they all want to die, not kill themselves, but they go for jihad. So when you are with a group of people and you know no one is going to go back, no one is going to move back, so that group will have another effect, you see. So this is the 5 principles in the effort. Principle of Omar: when he walks, he goes fast; when he speaks, he is heard; and when he hits, he hurts. Principle of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu: he will not be, when something is clear, he will not hesitate anymore. And principle of Khalid ibn al-Walid: when he is at fight, does not take rest, does not let his army rest, does not let his enemy rest. And then the jumper of wall, Al-Bara ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, and then the pusher of wall. And the third stage in the group is fikr, means thinking, having the worry, and thinking how to progress in our work, how to do it better, how to reach our goals. This comes after effort. When you do all the effort you can until you are physically to your limits, so now you start thinking, how can this effort work? Because if you're not making your maximum effort, so you will not think how to make effort in a better way. Because what you can do, you're not doing. But once you have done what you can, now you think of how doing it better. So in this stage of fikr, there are 2 parts. One part is making each aspect of our effort better, improving each aspect. Would it be receiving the patients, the place we are in? Would it be the diagnostic? Would it be the way to make hijama, how to wash the cups, etc. Every point you must you must naturally think of each thing you are doing, how to do it better. Is it possible to do it better? So that we get closer to achieve our goals. Communication, explanation, each point is important. Each point is important. Sometimes, for example, we get patients that come back and I ask them, after you came last time, what did you see in your dreams? Well, they said, I saw a dog, I saw this. I said, did you kill him? I said, no, I didn't kill him. Well, didn't they explain to you how you must kill them in your dreams? No, no one told me about that. Well, did you make an matakunu? Yes, they told me to do an matakunu. But they did not tell me that I should catch them and kill them in my dreams. You see? So that is a lack. Well, it's not that dangerous, but it would have been much better to teach the patient how to do it. So when he sees them, he's going to kill them, those jinns will die, or people making sihr will be broken, and he will be better, and he will have more iman. Because when you beat them in your dream, it is a spiritual struggle, and that gets you stronger spiritually. That means you'll have more faith in Allah and in Allah's words, and more confidence on yourself. This is just an example. So we must always be thinking how to improve all the things we are doing. And the second point in fiqh is shura. So we discuss all together about our situation and how to make things better, what problem you have, what can we, etc., etc. In order that everybody gets the fiqh, understands where we are and where we're going and what we need to go forward. So everybody will act in the way to make the group progress. And then the fourth stage in group is, we call in Arabic tawajjuh, means asking Allah, making dua to Allah Ta'ala to help us. And that comes when you have done all your physical effort and all your fiqh, your understanding, your wiseness, your experience to make things improve. And then after you will understand that only Allah Ta'ala can give the result. For example, we are treating people. Only Allah can heal people. We are using Quran. It is the words of Allah Ta'ala. It is Allah who makes the shifa through this ayat. Now, we all have sins and lacks, and we are not doing this work as it should be done. Now, we need to ask Allah Ta'ala to not take count of our lacks and to give mercy on us and people and to cure them. You see, it is in the hands of Allah Ta'ala. Many things we can't control. Many things we can't control. So we need to ask Allah Ta'ala a lot in all Muslim effort. If you do the effort, for example, of da'wah or teaching or building mosques or any effort for Islam, and you don't ask Allah Ta'ala to guide people or to make things work, that means you believe you can do it on your own. You have enough money, you have enough experience, you have enough knowledge, you have enough akhlaq, you have enough everything to do it. And you're doing it and waiting for your action to give result, not asking Allah Ta'ala to help you. You see, that is a big problem. That is a very big problem, because Allah Ta'ala, when Allah gave Islam to Prophet ﷺ, in the very beginning, He gave him two orders. يا أيها المدثر قم فأنذر يا أيها المزمل قم الليل. Get up and preach and warn, and get up and pray at night. And Qiyam al-Layl was compulsory for Prophet ﷺ and Sahaba about half the night in the beginning years of Islam. And so this is very necessary for Islamic work. We know very well in Ruqya that shayateen work against us. Shayateen work against us. Ins and jinn shayateen. Sorcerers are ins shayateen, working for shaitan. They work against us. And for instance, I'll tell you a story I had. One girl sent me an email, and she said she will never forgive me. because she came to me with a friend of hers for treatment for her friend, and she just brought her friend. She told me that day all the problems of her friend finished, and all the problems of her friend came onto her, and she's stuck since then. So this is why she will never forgive me. So she thought that I removed sihr from one person to put it on another person. This is how she understood. So we did jinn catching to get the jinns with her, and they told us that the sahir made sihr on her to make me look as a bad person. You see? This is how sihr are working. They are there. They are understanding what we are doing. They are looking for any way to destroy us. You see, they will do sihr on our patients so that they will not get better. And they'll say, these people, what they are doing is nothing. They'll do all sorts of things. You see? So how can we prevent that? Can you imagine? Getting sihr off one person is not an easy job. So how to cope with sahirs, many sahirs, because the more we treat people, the more we have sahirs, more sahirs behind us, fighting us. So how can we cope with all that? You see, it needs dua. Every day dua. Every day long dua. That Allah Ta'ala will protect us, will accept us, will bless our work. And that Allah Ta'ala will cure our people, our patients, and guide them, and protect them. And that Allah Ta'ala will destroy all those sorcerers, because they are working with shaitan naturally. And then more than that, they are fighting against Ruqya, against Islam. It is a fight. And they are fighting very seriously, because it is their living, and their honor, their pride, that they are defending. And we are defending the religion of Allah. So we also must be very angry about them. We must have a lot of anger. Imagine how much Allah is angry about those people working with shaitan. How many lives they have destroyed? So many patients we have. Their children are autist. What do you think of someone having one child autist? 2 autist children? How is his life going to be? Etc, etc. So many problems. People very fine have become crazy. People in very good situation have become bankrupt, indebted, etc. So many of these problems. So we must every day give time for dua, for all the things we are trying to achieve. That is necessary in the group that works for Hidayah. It is absolutely necessary to give every day time for dua. If you're not, your effort is not complete. So it is as if you are making something. For example, you're building a house and you don't finish it. You build a car, you don't finish it. You make food, you don't finish it. So it cannot be used. The house cannot be used, car cannot be used, food cannot be eaten, etc. It cannot be used. And this effort of Hidayah, without the dua, will not give result. Will not give result. The only benefit, it is a training for yourself. Now you can train, you can be learner and come to train how to make food, how to do this, how to do that. But if you stay a learner all your life, so you have wasted all that time. You have to learn to become a professional and to give something that gives result, that you can help people with, yourself too. But if you always say, as training, all of your life training, not doing proper effort, real effort, you have wasted your time. Anyway, it is better training to do Islamic work than going on holidays and watching TV. Of course, you have some hasanat, but that work is not productive in terms of Hidayah. So the fourth stage is dua. And you must find everyday time for dua. For example, read Yasin, make dua, or pray sometime by night, make dua, or make qunut in Salat al-Watr, make dua. Well, if you want to make dua every day, you have to fix some time, fix some habit to make this dua. Then the fifth stage of group is ibtila, test from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And why is the fifth stage test by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? Now you're going to understand everything, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala has promised hidayah for effort. And in the effort, there's a first condition, that is mahabba, unity of the hearts. Otherwise, there's no group. Once that condition is there, the effort is divided into three things: physical effort, mental effort, and spiritual effort. That is juhd and fikr and dua, tawajjah to Allah Ta'ala. Once this effort is complete, you are making effort as much as you can, with physically, intellectually, mentally, and spiritually making dua. Allah is going to give hidayat. It's going to work. Like a key opens a door. It's going to work. Like you say, you mix this, you put on the fire, you'll get your food. It's going to work, inshallah. It's going to work. And how does this hidayah come? This hidayah, Allah has promised for yourself, not for other people. When you make effort for guidance of people, what did Allah promise? Those who struggle for us, we shall guide them our ways. Allah has promised hidayah for you, not for the other people. You see, the people you are making effort on, Allah did not promise anything for them. Allah promised for you, that is who are making effort on the people. So Allah will guide you. And what does guidance mean? Means Allah will increase your iman. Increasing your iman is the same thing as removing dunya from your heart, removing creatures from your heart. And this removing creatures from your heart will not come in an easy way, in a soft way. It will come in a hard way. It will come with pain, with suffering. This is why you get tests. And those things you love, those things you are attached to, those things that count for you, Allah is going to grab them off you. That is your hidayat. And that is why the result of effort is ibtila, is tests. So when you are making efforts, if you are making correct effort, you will get ibtila every day. Every day something is going to happen. It could be illness, it could be loss of money, it could be people speaking bad things about you, etc. It could be any kind of thing. It could be some person speaking bad to you, making problem with you, etc. So, when you get this ibtila, you have to do three things. First of all, you have to know it comes from Allah and accept it. Not say, why are you doing this? Why does this always happen to me? Who took my money? Why did you do bad food? Too much pepper? No. Say, well, we try to do our best to avoid problems, but once the problem has happened, we say, Allah has wanted this. Yet, Rasulullah said, لا يلدغ المؤمن من جحر مرتين. The believer does not get bitten, is not bit from the same hole twice. So if you put your finger somewhere and something bites you, you not put it again. So if you have done some mistakes and got bad results, we'll do our best not to repeat those mistakes another time. But when it happens, we say Allah has wanted this. We have done all our possible means to avoid this, but it has happened. So we accept it as a good thing. As a good thing. For example, we thank Allah, we thank our parents for all the good they have done to us. But we also thank our parents for all the punishments they have given to us. And maybe those punishments were more beneficial for us than the gifts and presents they have given to us. And also Allah Ta'ala, when Allah gives us bad situations, difficult situations, we thank Him, because we must know it is for our good. Even if we are suffering and we don't see what is good in this situation, but we must keep confidence in Allah Ta'ala that it is our good. And the second point we do when we get ibtila, when we get tests, is to continue our work and our effort. So whatever happens, we continue doing our ibadat and our effort for deen. And the third point, when we get ibtila, we don't ask Allah Ta'ala to remove the ibtila, we ask Allah for hidayah. We ask Allah for hidayah. So now you have lost your money, or there's no food, or you got ill, or whatever is happening. So instead of saying, Ya Allah, my money is gone, how can I do? Ya Allah, I want my money back. No, say, Ya Allah, I ask for hidayah. Save the ummah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Save them from going astray, from shirk, from sins, etc. Guide them. Ask us and say, this money, you do what you want, keep it, give it, take it out of my heart. That is the most important thing. And you continue your effort. And this is how this ibtila will be a cause for cleaning your heart, increasing your iman. And Allah Ta'ala is going to, in regard to your effort and your sabr and your suffering and your dua for ummah, give also dua to other people. So this is the 5 stages of the group. And it is very important to understand for everybody who is making effort for deen, so that this effort becomes productive and not stop at one stage or another, so to just be training without reaching the result. May Allah Ta'ala help us and guide us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.